Hi everyone, my name is Claire Blake, formerly known as Claire Carmichael. I'm a nurse lecturer and author of How to Make It as a Student Nurse. So, what should you expect going into nursing? Firstly, you will be expected to do 50% theory, so at university studying, lectures, exams, assignments, all that jazz. And the second half will be the physical element, so the practical element of going in and working as you would as a nurse, but as a student. And these practice placements will be anywhere. It could be in the community, it could be in a hospital ward, it could be in care home settings. I have heard of people going out into places like food banks to get an overall view of the population of the city. And you could be placed anywhere in the city that you're going to university. So for example, I live in Birmingham. I went to Birmingham City University as a student, and my placements could be all over Birmingham and Solihull area. But before you go out onto placement, you should be having your mandatory training before you go out. So there'll be things like basic life support, manual handling, how to do a set of observations that you'll have to do. So there'll be so many different skills sessions at university that you'll go to with your student colleagues, taught by the lecturers there, on all the different skills to get you prepared for placement, so that when you're out on placement, you've got the theory, you've got the practice of how to do that skill, and then you go out there and practice on when you're on placement. Now, every university is completely different how they run their courses. Some places will do block placements. You might go to university for so many months, and then you go to placement for so many months, and then you're back at university for so many months. That's personally the way I did mine. And I quite liked that. I quite liked the block set placements. And I was on a different placement throughout my 3 years. So in first year, I had abdo-surgical ward. I had a stroke ward. In second year, I had a GP practice, which is my love and where I wanted to be. And then I had trauma and orthopedic ward, which was amazing. Then I had a community rehabilitation ward for my third year. And then my final management type of placement was as a district nurse. So I personally had a really good variety of placements that just gave me so much experience from all different areas of nursing. But other universities, like I said, might do something different, and they might arrange their placements differently, and the timing and how long you're on placement compared to uni and things like that. Everyone will do something different. So have a look at the university itself and where you're going to go, and find out what they do and find out what's best for you. So at university, like I said, you'll have different assignments, exams, presentations to do. So throughout your 3 years, it'll be broken down into modules. Most unis do different modules. They'll have different themes and different topics around things. That you'll have case study patients, for example, around stroke or diabetes or asthma. All of the really common long-term conditions that you're going to see out in practice, they like to teach you so that you've got an idea, so you know how to treat those patients. And within each module, they'll give you all of the theory, they'll give you all of the lectures, all of the training, all of the knowledge behind what you're doing, why you're doing it. And then at the end, you'll have your assessment. So like I said, it'll either be assignment, so they'll give you an assignment based on all of the teaching that they've taught you. And that's so they can assess that you've understood what you're being taught and you know your stuff. Or it might be a presentation that you have to do, or it might be something like an exam. So it could be a multiple choice exam, it could be a free written long worded exam. There's all different types of assessments within university, and like I said, every uni will do something different. Some universities also do something called an OSCE, which is an objective, structured clinical examination. And whilst you're at university, a common question that I always get is, how can I plan childcare and things like that around university? Am I going to be in university every single day, all day? What's the timetables like? To be honest, the timetable is very, very all over the place. Again, it might vary from uni to uni, but when I was at Birmingham City University as a student, our timetable was, some weeks we might have been in twice a week all day. Another week we might be in Monday to Friday all day. Another week we might be in 3 days all day, or for 2 hours here, 2 hours there, skills session here. It's very, very much like that throughout university. The only thing you can guarantee is you'll be off at the weekends, because the university doesn't really open at weekends. And then when you're out on placement in practice, again, if you're on a ward, you might just do 3 long days, so 3 12-hour shifts a week. And then if you're somewhere like primary care, so when I was in my GP placement, I was there Monday to Friday, sort of 9 till 5 sort of hours, so you knew you had your weekends off. And then what's expected of you within placement? So when you're out in your placements as a first year student, they shouldn't be expecting everything of you, because your first year, you're just setting your foundations of nursing in that year. You should be supervised at all times with your assessor as well. I mean, you should be supervised anyway through all 3 years, but that level sort of gets the reins sort of go loose a little bit as you get to third year, because they want to see that autonomy in you. But first year expectations, you're going to be shadowing your assessor quite a lot. You're going to be going with people like the healthcare assistants, watching, observing, learning, doing as well with that direct supervision. And then in your second year, that like I said, those reins gets a little bit looser. So they want to see a little bit more autonomy. What you've learned in your first year, you're going to put into practice in second year and sort of take the lead a little bit with your patients. But again, you will still be under the supervision of the healthcare team around you, just maybe from a little bit of a step back so that you take the lead a little bit. You get in there and you get stuck in. And then third year, it's going to be those reins are loose. You're not set loose on your own. You're still being watched, but from afar. So you're going to be, you might potentially have your own ward bay of patients, 4 patients they might give you to monitor for the day on your own, but you've still got your assessor there supervising from a distance, and they're still there if you need support and you need to ask questions and things like that. But within third year, they like to see you more, okay, this person's blood pressure is really low, what am I going to do about it? And you start to put in place the things that you know you need to do, rather than going back to your mentor and reporting, say, oh, this person's blood pressure is really low, I don't know what to do. You're going to start to think, okay, I know what to do now because I'm third year. I'm starting to learn all these things and put it into place. And throughout your placement, you are being watched, you're being supervised all the time, like I said, and your practice assessor will be signing you off and signing different competencies off when you're out on placement. So there might be different things like you'll have to cover things like safety and professional values and things like that within the NMC code to make sure that you're following the NMC code. But then you'll get clinical skills and things like that signed off as well as you go. And lastly, before I forget, another question I usually get asked about starting university is, do we have to wear a uniform? And the answer is absolutely. So when you're at university in your lectures, you don't need to wear a uniform. You can just wear your own clothes. You can rock up in your pajamas if you really want to. No one's going to judge you. But when you're out on your placements, you are going to be given a uniform by the university. You'll be measured and everything for it. They'll give you 3 or 4 uniforms, I think it is. I think I had 3 uniforms. And usually they are sort of navy blue or black trousers and then a different coloured tunic. Ours was white. I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to put a nurse in white. Yeah, you can see the problem when you're around blood, vomit, urine, diarrhea. It's not the colour. And I always got mistaken for the occupational health therapists because they were always in white as well. Or sometimes the physios, depending on which trust you're at. But anyway, each university, they'll have different coloured tunics. I've seen grey, I've seen burgundy, I've seen purple, I've seen green. I've seen all sorts of colours, so it just depends on the university. And final tip for you, amongst all of this information I'm giving you, is go to the university open days. If you want to get a gist of what nursing feels like, which university to go to, going to an open day is a really good thing to do, because you can sense the atmosphere, you can speak to the lecturers, you can see the uniforms, you can get a sense of what the course is going to be like and how it's going to be run. And not only that, there's always freebies. Now for the fun stuff. I know nursing is really, really tough, and I've just told you everything that you're going to be doing at uni, and you must be thinking, well, when am I going to have time to myself? But you will have time to yourself, I promise. I found time to do so much more than my course, and this is something I advise people. Obviously, you don't have to take this advice, but for me, to keep me motivated throughout the 3 years, I like to do extracurricular activities around university. So at university, they might do fun things like put on events and put on little like summer fetes and parties. There might be different societies you can get involved in, just something extra on the side that's going to perk you up, make you think, I love this university, I love being a part of it, and it's going to want to make you keep going. And I was a part of so much as a student as well. I was a part of the student academic advisors. I was a buddy mentor to international students. I was part of the official BCU vlogging, and we got to go to places like the Bear Grylls and do reviews and stuff like that. So if you can get involved in things like that, absolutely go for it, because it's well worth it. So I hope that's given you some sort of overview what to expect going into university as a student nurse. I hope I haven't scared you off. Yes, it's tough, it's going to be hard, it's not easy, but you know what? It is the most rewarding, amazing, fantastic career that I've ever been in. I do not regret anything. So yeah, it's tough, there'll be days you're going to cry, but you know what? At the end of the day, it is absolutely worth it.